I went out on a first date with a woman whose psychotic ex-boyfriend was stalking her, and he found her and I and shot me in the head, left me for dead, and he murdered her.
That's Chris Smith. He survived a man's attempt to murder him while he was on a first date with a woman.
I am a miracle, as doctors and first responders and everybody else tell me. I really am.
Smith is here with his story of survival after his date was murdered and now the killer is behind bars. I go through the tragic and horrific attempt on his life and how his date, Leslie Reeves, was tragically killed. I'm Angenette Levy, and this is Crime Fix. Morgan & Morgan, they win a lot. That's why they're one of America's largest personal injury law firms. The firm actually has more than 1,000 lawyers who've recovered $25 billion for more than 500,000 clients. In the last few months alone, a client in Florida received $12 million when insurance offered just $350,000. In Pennsylvania, another client was awarded $26 million. That's 40 times the insurer's offer. Morgan & Morgan makes it really easy to fight for what you deserve. You can even start a claim from your cell phone. So if you're ever injured, you can start a claim at forthepeople.com/crimefix. Click the link below or scan the QR code that you see right there on your screen. You know, first dates, they can be nerve-wracking, kind of exciting, and in some cases, they can be really terrible. Well, something told Chris Smith to not go on a first date with a woman on November 24th, 2021. Smith ignored that gut feeling, and it almost cost him his life. Chris Smith went on a date with 45-year-old Leslie Reeves, but her ex-boyfriend, Bobby Tarr, tracked them down at Christopher's home in Farmersville, Illinois, through her phone. The night that promised new beginnings, it descended into a nightmare, leaving only one to open their eyes ever again. It all happened right before Thanksgiving.
Farmersville Wagner ambulance respond for an EMS call for gunshot wound 104 Nobby Street, Farmersville 911, clear 1343.
Now, this was Thanksgiving time, so family and friends grew really concerned when neither of them responded. And that's when police arrived at Chris Smith's home for a welfare check. And instead, they found a bloody, bloody scene. Leslie was dead in the living room, but Chris was barely conscious in the kitchen. He'd been wounded for more than 12 hours. With 2 gunshot victims and a suspect at large, no time could be wasted. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office arrived on scene to investigate. Photographs were taken of the residence and the road. Leslie's purse with her ID, phone, and car keys were found on the table, so this wasn't a break-in. Her phone was collected in case there was evidence on it, and her belongings were sent to the sheriff's office for her loved ones to pick up. As detectives were walking around, they noticed an exterior door to the kitchen was open, and that's where the shooter most likely walked into the house. The door's glass was broken and lying on the porch. Crime scene investigators, they were looking for any clue that could lead them to a suspect. Clothing items of the victims that contained blood were collected for DNA testing. Footwear impressions were photographed, and even a wooden-handled kitchen knife was collected for fingerprints. But there were no prints found. Police had, though, an idea of who that shooter might be.
I want you to dig down deep here and be as honest with me as you can, okay? Leslie is dead. What? Can you help me shed some light on this? How did she die? So she was murdered. What happened? That's why we're here with you. You help me believe that you're not involved in this. I'm not involved in anything. I went to a buddy of mine's house. He left me some money out of his shop, and I had to go pick it up. I remember what time he came back. Yeah, it wasn't that long. Maybe 6:30ish, something like that. You can talk to my daughter about me being home.
So that's exactly what investigators do. And guess what? Bobby Tarr's 17-year-old daughter, she rats him out.
The first time he left was roughly 6:30.
Right.
And then he came home about a half hour later, and I said he had to go back.
Right.
And then it was 9:15ish when he got back home.
Yeah. He gets home. He was crying. He was sobbing. He said he missed Leslie. He started laundry. He was pacing, walking around, and he was like, I can't sleep.
The daughter even mentions a gun that she knows her dad keeps in his sock drawer.
It's little, it's like this big. I like a light green, like the army green. Yesterday morning, actually, I went to get socks and it was there. And that was something.
Was there yesterday, gone today?
And that was all investigators needed to hear.
You're under arrest for murder.
And right.
Tarr was charged with 1 count of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. And when he's booked into the jail, investigators bring him into an interrogation room, hoping now that he's charged with a crime, that he might come to his senses and start talking.
All right, we're going to go over your constitutional rights real quick, okay? You have the right to remain silent. You understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions about that? Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes? Any questions about that?
No.
You have the right to talk to your lawyer before questioning and to have one present during questioning. Do you understand that? Yes?
Yes.
Any questions about that?
No.
No. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you free of cost to you. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Any questions about it?
No. I need one though.
Okay. If you would just do me a favor, said you've been advised of and you do understand your constitutional rights. If you could sign for me right there, please. Okay. So are you willing to talk to us this morning, or by
No.
saying you need an attorney?
Yeah.
You're requesting one?
Okay.
Thank you very much. I'll get you on the back.
Well, guess what? Bobby Tarr, he chooses to remain silent. He pleads not guilty to the charges. In April 2024, during the trial, prosecutors dropped a bombshell, the murder weapon. They had it, the firearm, the magazine, the ammunition. It was all found in a Ziploc bag located on Tarr's property. It turns out his father found it outside next to a wheelbarrow. The bullets matched those found at the scene, but the firearm, it was suspiciously clean. There were no fingerprints, no blood, until a deeper inspection was done, revealing small traces of blood that was determined to be Leslie's. A search of Bobby Tarr's phone revealed he conducted searches for Chris Smith, and at one point, he typed into a search bar, "Can the police track me if I have a VPN? And can the police track my phone if it's off?" The jury convicted Tarr after deliberating for less than 3 hours, and a judge sentenced him to 85 years in prison for murder and attempted murder. When Tarr was given the chance to speak at sentencing, he went on a 20-minute rant claiming he was innocent until the judge cut him off. Several people left the courtroom while he was talking, and Chris Smith was one of them. Tarr will not be eligible for parole until he's 128 years old, but it did not stop there. A year after the shooting, Tarr was indicted by a grand jury on 2 counts of solicitation to commit murder for hire. Detectives said Tarr hired a person to kill Chris and the lead investigator on the shooting case, but more on that in a little bit. So Chris Smith is here with me. He is the author of a book entitled My Fatal First Date, and it really tells his story of surviving this horrific event. So Chris, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. First off, how are you doing?
Well, I say I'm still all right because my left hand's not really working that good yet, but I'm doing actually, for taking a 9mm hollow point to my head and being completely paralyzed on the left-hand side due to 3 ischemic strokes afterwards. I am a miracle, as doctors and first responders and everybody else tell me. I really am. I'm here still walking this earth to inspire, motivate, educate, help, give hope to, and restore faith in God to the world. And make sure this never happens to anybody else again. Advocate for domestic violence awareness, TBI and stroke recovery. And just do what I can to give back. And also, I have received mesenchymal stem cells, which are short is MSC. Mesenchymal stem cells, and they help to recover from stroke and TBI.
Wow.
As, like I said, my whole left side was dead. When I woke up from a coma, it felt like literally like a half of concrete on my body. Nothing at all. I mean, it was just, to say the least, I woke up in the hospital freaking out. I mean, especially because I did not know Leslie. We had just met on Facebook apparently like a week and a half prior to the first date. And I had a better chance of getting struck by lightning or winning Powerball.
Wow.
It's absolutely horrible. And I want to prevent this from happening to anybody ever again, ever.
And how do you prevent that from happening to anybody? I mean, this to me seemed like just such a freak thing. I mean, you go on a date with Leslie, you guys are on a date, and my God, the most, terrifying, horrific thing that could ever happen happens.
Right? I mean, funny story for you. So I'm a creature of habit. I always take the same route home from work every day. So on my way into Farmersville, Illinois, into my town, I always pass by my neighbor Denny Hobson's house. I'm driving past his house, looking down Elevator Street, which is down where the bar was at. And I remember, like, the voice or gut feeling, whatever you want to call it, my pastor, the Holy Spirit, voice in my head saying, stay home, don't go out or go to St. Louis party because it was Thanksgiving Eve. I mean, last thing I remembered, then I woke up from a coma, remembered that. And one other thing, you can think I'm crazy, but I have proof of this. I had 4 angels with me. When I was found, Denny Hobson was the first responder. Ironically, my best friend up at Farmersville, he was the ambulance chief up there. And he could not initially find a pulse. He broke protocols, kind of freaking out because his best friend was laying there in a pool of blood, started screaming my name. A third time he screamed my name, I woke up and said, I'm freaking freezing. And I was out in a coma till I woke up on 1/12/22. And I remembered the ride home from work that afternoon, and then my 4 angels, which I was not about to tell anybody about a near-death experience. After you wake up from getting shot in the head, they would lock me up in a padded room. So I didn't talk about that till last summer when I was shooting my 48 hours interview. But I mean, you can't make any of this up. I mean, it's so crazy. If somebody would have told me this 5 years ago, I would have said, you're nuts. It's a movie script, I mean, it's just like you said. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, you never in a million years would have thought this would happen to myself or to anybody. I mean, I guess you do see stuff like this on the news, but for myself to be a victim, and I'm a victim of domestic violence. I mean, I really am. I mean, the thing about Bobby Tarr was he was out on parole, and me knowing myself, even though I don't remember Leslie, and the whole month of November has erased my mind. If a woman would have told me she had a psychotic ex-boyfriend that would be capable of doing this, because apparently she, from the text messages that were revealed in court, she had texted her best friend Angenette like a week or two prior saying, I need to cut all ties with Bobby Tarr or he's going to end up killing me. So she knew something was going on. I just started my own company and I had my daughter 50% of the time. Nice house, an acre and a half of land. And I mean, I had the world by the cojones. I wouldn't have jeopardized that just for a first date. I mean, and he is a POS to say the least. The guy still won't admit it. I was framed by the cops. Now, how the hell are you going to be framed by the cops that were an hour and a half away from you? Come on, man.
Well, and he's also accused of trying to hire someone to kill you.
He's not accused. The grand jury did indict him, but the reason that Andrew did not go through with that is because it really wouldn't have added much more time to the sentence. The guy's he's going to die in prison. He's not going to live till he's 148 years old. I mean, I hope not, or I'm going hunting. I mean, I'd be willing to forgive the guy if you want to admit your guilt. Because the good Lord says to always forgive everybody, love your enemies as well as you love your friends. So I mean, but he's a prototypical sociopath. I was a psych minor in college, and he has every freaking trait of a sociopath. He really does. Yes, what he did to me hurts. I'll say I lost my life without staying dead. But what he did to my little girl, taking her daddy away from her for 4 years, and me losing that time with her, that's what pisses me off the most. I lost that time with my daughter. I'll never get back. I mean, she was 9 the night I was shot. She'll be 14 this January. That's what hurts. And what he did to the rest of my family, my friends, I mean, everybody. He turned so many lives upside down, taking Leslie's life, her children. I mean, the guy's the scum of the earth. He really is. and a coward.
Tell me why you decided to write the book.
Well, I really didn't want to write a book. I'm not an author. I'm a singer-songwriter. I've been playing music, singing, writing music since I was a teenager. And by the urgency of others, and then be sitting around thinking, well, why not write it? I can help millions of people through my recovery. And it took me a while to sit back. I mean, when I first woke from the coma, got out of the hospital, I had to go live in my parents' house for the first year and a half. Really great, you know. At least I wasn't living in the basement. But I mean, I was like, you know what, shoot, do it. So I did it all on my iPhone with my right thumb since I'm unable to type. When I woke from the coma, I immediately erased the word can't out of my vocabulary, because we are capable and we can do anything we want. Doesn't matter how bleak life is, no matter how crappy things look. Life hands you lemon and limes. You got to dig down deep for that tequila and that sugar water, make you poor man's margaritas. There's no time for sulking, and I hate to rip this line up, but there's no time for crying in baseball. You've got to get out there. You got to do it. We are unstoppable. We all have the power within us. The human spirit is unstoppable. And so I was like, you know what? Heck, let's write the book. I wrote the book because I've done countless interviews, and due to time constraints, they can't really delve into my recovery. The crime is a story, but it's a horrible story, but it's not the story of me, the recovery of what I went through. So my book is like all the intimate details of everything. I mean, I'm on my second bone plate. The first year and a half in, I had adhesion on my scar line. I don't know if you can see the scars or whatever, but so anyways, I was at the gym flipping plyometric blocks. I'd stand behind them and try to flip them and hopefully not fall over, because I have a baseball and college football background and being in the Navy. So I was just trying to think of everything I've learned in the past that could help me regain my leg usage and whatever. And I split my scar line open. And then I went to the doctor. He kept trying to stitch it up and close it with no anesthesia, mind having, because I would have put anesthesia, it could have leaked into my dura, which is a thin membrane that goes over our brain. And if it would have combined with the CSF fluid, which is cerebral spinal cord fluid, it could have put my brain to sleep. So that would have been bad. So he literally would stitch me up in his office with no anesthesia. This went on for about 2 months. And then finally, it popped open, and I believe I sent you the picture, which I don't know if you want to put it on here or not, of a green Phillips screw head sticking out of my head. I walked around literally for a couple months on antibiotics with exposed hardware, which ended up getting infected, and they had to yank it out and put a new one in August of 23. And I had major total scalp reconstruction surgery. And the reason why it sounds like I kind of talk funny, I don't know if you can see this big knot here where my glasses are. That's my jaw muscle. It's not attached over here on the left-hand side of. So I literally only have one jaw muscle. I'm talking with my left side jaw muscle. My right one is literally like accordioned up right here.
What do you hope people take from your story? You know, it sounds like you're telling people, first of all, trust your gut. If your gut's telling you not to go on the date, or your gut's telling you to stay home, maybe listen to it.
Exactly. The first time in my life, I always listen to my gut feeling. Always. First time I never did. And I wake up and I'm being told I was shot in the head by Leslie's ex-boyfriend. And I said, I don't know a freaking Leslie, because I didn't know her. I mean, I haven't even recognized her since I've seen the pictures. I mean, like I said, the whole month of November, except for that drive home that afternoon, is a blank slate. Mm-hmm. Crazy. The last thing I remember is digging up my banana trees on the 29th of October. That's the last memory I have. And it started all over again when I woke up from the coma on 1/12/22.
And you kind of are trying to do some motivational speaking type stuff now too, right?
Yeah, I'm actually going out. I was a keynote speaker for the BIAA, which that's the Brain Injury Association of America. I spoke at their Midwest conference they had here in St. Louis on 10/22/12. I'm sorry, 10/22/25, sorry. And I was speaking to medical professionals there, doctors, OTs, PTs, STs, and researchers. You know, I'm trying hard as I can to get this mesenchymal stem cell transplants FDA approved for stroke and TBI recovery, because it worked. And my neurologist said, you're going to have a hell of a time getting it for them to approve it, because big pharma, the insurance, and the healthcare industry are going to lose trillions of dollars. Our bodies can repair themselves by our stem cells. We just need the doctors to guide them to the damaged part. And yes, I am on a mission. literally to help as many people around this world as I can for, domestic violence, GSW, TBI and ABI recoveries. That's what I'm here walking for, albeit with the cane. I'm good for about 20 feet without, but it gets a little hairy. But I will never give up. And what I want people to take away from my story is never give up. Listen to your gut feeling and never give up. Love life. You never know how many grains of sand we have left in our hourglass and when the last one's going to fall. So love your loved ones. Be kind to your fellow neighbor and help anybody you can. I'm going to be honest with you. Everything was for Chris before I was shot. I took everything for granted, like we all do. I would always moan about, why don't I have this? Why is this? Yada, yada. Well, you got to learn how to tie your shoe with your teeth in one hand. It kind of humbles you. It's just like, but it goes to show now that I have a scooter that I call it my tricycle that I get around. I do yard work. I'm planting my banana trees. I have a couple of John Deere riding lawnmowers that I'm able to get up and on and off with. I have 3/4 of an acre here, and I used to farm banana trees and giant pumpkins in the middle of Illinois. Yes, you can grow bananas in a cold weather environment. It's a real pain in the butt. You got to dig them up every year, store them in the basement, yada, yada, rinse and repeat. But I was told I couldn't do it, so I did it. Mm-hmm. So like my doctor told me, Chris, you'll never walk again. I said, Victor, you told the wrong person you can't do something because I will do it out of spite to prove you wrong. And I have. And he's told me, Chris, do me a favor. He's one probably really got me to write the book. He says, I want you to make doctors like me never to give up on patients like yourself. Mm-hmm. And I made him a promise that I'd do it. So that's why I'm here. And I want people to take away from this. You can do anything. You're unstoppable and never give up on anything in life. We can achieve, overcome, and exceed any goal you have.
Well, Chris, I really appreciate you sharing your story with us. Chris Smith, author of My Fatal First Date. We appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you very much. And you can check me out anywhere. If anybody wants to reach out to me, talk to me. I'm on Facebook, Christopher J. Smith, Instagram, anywhere. I'm willing to help anybody I can. I'll answer every message, and I'm here. That's what I'm here for.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So the solicitation for murder charges brought against Bobby Tarr, they were later dismissed since he's in prison basically for the rest of his life. Let's talk now about Leslie Reeves. According to her obituary, Leslie was known for living life to the very fullest and always showing her beautiful smile. Her greatest joy was her children. Leslie left her stable job working as a petroleum engineer to pursue her passions. She started her own business, All You Studio and Party Place, to serve others and make a positive impact in her community. She created a space for women to practice yoga, to train and learn self-defense.
Hey everybody, it's Leslie from All You Studio, your personal safety and awareness specialist here in Troy.
Leslie was active throughout her life, filling her time with dancing, exercising, art, traveling, and even collecting shoes. Her favorite song was Sweet Child of Mine by Guns N' Roses, and those who knew her best would swear the song was written about her. She's got a smile that it seems to remind me of childhood memories where everything was fresh as the bright blue sky. That's how the song goes. Leslie's family asks that people honor her by reaching out to help someone in need or perform a random act of kindness. And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.